I'm an orientation and mobility specialist of over 17 years, and I'm here to share with you the top 3 tools that I have in my tool belt every single time that I teach. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Cassie Maloney, orientation and mobility specialist and the owner of Allied Independence. We help teachers, TVIs, and O&Ms to increase their learners with visual impairments independence. I hope I said that right. Through 21st century teaching techniques. And I use 3 tools every single lesson just about. Now, some of these we're going to think like, oh, maybe they're so basic, but they are the foundational tools. So if you are interested in becoming an orientation and mobility specialist, or if you have a student with a visual impairment, either in your classroom or your caseload, and you're kind of wondering if these things are that important, well, I'll tell you, and I'll tell you the truth. Okay, the very first one is the white cane. Now, hear me out. 98% of people with visual impairments themselves don't use a cane. But if you have an orientation and mobility specialist who's working with a student, chances are they're probably going to need a cane of some sort. And so what you often see, this one's a small one just because I love it so much and it fits within the frame, but you'll see your orientation and mobility specialist using a cane with your learners. And sometimes, it's the 2020s. Why are we still using something that looks like a stick and not something more technologically advanced? Well, honestly, at this point in time, this metal stick with either a ball or something on the bottom of it still provides the best feedback from the ground. So we definitely need to use a cane, especially in orientation and mobility. If you have a student who doesn't want to use their cane and it's been prescribed to them, encourage them to use it the most that they can possibly use it. We do have a lot of learners who don't like using their cane because it makes them look different, and I completely get that. The thing is that if you use your cane with 80% proficiency, it's only going to work 80% of the time. What happens the other 20%? Well, we don't really want to find out. So use your cane. Okay, thanks. Okay, the second thing that I use all the time are maps. When you have vision, you can look around a room and get a good idea as to what is going on and mentally map it. But when you have a visual impairment, I like to use maps like a Wheatley board or Tactile Maps, and they come in really handy when working with your learners to help give them an understanding of where they are in space and how that space is laid out. I also really like using Tactile Maps because I like to have my learners learn their route with a tactile map. So I don't even do like the whole school or anything like that. Sometimes it's literally just the route or just like the city block or something of that nature. Exactly where they're going from point A to point B so they can see it laid out and then they can do it. It's kind of like when we look at a map, when we put it in GPS and we're picking and choosing which one we want to go on. It's the same thing. We like to see the overview of where are we going? And that leads me to my third top tool that I love using, and that is specifically the phone. My goodness, what a great invention for orientation and mobility. Now, I don't get into too many crazy apps. So you're not going to see me personally pairing this app with that app, with this app, with that app, da da da. Ugh. But I do like to use the phone for a multitude of things. I love the magnification because a lot of times my students are not going to bring their monocular and they don't want to use it. But you know what they have in their back pocket? Their phone. That's right. So when the phone can go up to 5x or 8x, yes, I'm going to, of course, encourage them to use their phone. I also love GPS that we can have on the phone. And there are different apps like Be My Eyes or Oko or any of Seeing AI that my learners can use to help them get information from the environment onto their fingertips. Okay, those I know that they're simple, but don't neglect the easy things, because those are the foundation. Of course, your handy dandy cane and tactile maps and GPS or other apps on the phone. If you don't have Wi-Fi, there are ways to hook up Wi-Fi, to share Wi-Fi, or to figure that out, maybe getting a little router for a learner's phone. Those are my top 3. Leave a comment below and let me know, what are your top tools that you use in your orientation and mobility classes?